You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
You're listening to the boss of the big board.
Oh yeah,
JB the Ticket.
looking clean, boots shined up and walk with a limb.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
I'm not nephew, let me show that.
Giving you that grease.
Waking you back up early in the morning. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. It is Sunday baseball. I got him on the line with me. My main man Daniel Cameron from D Sports Ledger. Good morning. Good to have you back. How you doing?
Good morning.
So glad to have you back again, Daniel Cameron, D Sports Ledger. Follow him on the Instagram at D Sports Ledger. We're going to be talking some Major League Baseball today. Going to throw a few NBA things at you as far as the draft. Get some of your thoughts. Got some WNBA action on the line yesterday. Shout out to my main man, Daryl Harris, KLAS CBS 8. Came in the studio yesterday, brought little baby Bassie with us, and we put cash in your pocket, picking those two winners. Told you to take the aces. I told you to buy them back to -8. They were able to get that win, doing what they do. And then we told you the Seattle Storm, we're going to be bringing the Storm and putting that cash in your pocket, and they were able to get their win as well. So when we get back, Daniel Cameron, quick shout out before we go to this commercial break. We're going to be getting right into that baseball. Go ahead. Daniel. Well, I'm going to commercial break, guys. He's there with me. You guys are there with me. 107.1 FM, AM 1400. It's time to get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket.
You know I'm
Giving you that grease.
when I put it down, I'm weighing the grease.
At the Bagel Cafe, the recipe is simple, good food, and generous portions. Family owned and operated since 1996, the Bagel Cafe is a unique restaurant where you can get anything your appetite desires, from a bagel and a schmear to piled high corned beef on homemade rye, fresh fruit platters and salads, or creamy New York cheesecake. Check them out at thebagelcafelv.com. The Bagel Cafe, where there's something delicious for everyone.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. I'm back at you live. Quick commercial break. Daniel, you on the line with me? I can hear you.
All right.
There you go.
Yes, sir. We got it fixed.
There you go. Much better. Again, back into that baseball. So before we had those slight technical difficulties, I told you to tell the fans how you were doing with your sports handicap, and I've been following you, putting cash in the pocket and making it happen. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing good lately. I mean, yesterday we had the under in the Braves and Pirates, and we hit the over in the Reds and Cardinals. So I mean, we've been doing solid. It's been looking good.
There you go, man. Talking about
ready for another winning day.
There you go. Major League Baseball on deck today. Check it out on Fubo TV. FuboTV.com/JB is where you want to be to put these picks in your pocket. So again, brought to you by our friends over there. You got it to get that downloaded. No credit check, no deposit, no installation, no hassle, nothing. All you got to do is download the app after you go to the website and sign up, and you can log in and start watching these games. So we'll jump right into it, man. People have been wanting these picks, so let's go to it. Rotation number 901, the Pittsburgh Pirates. You talked about the Atlanta Braves. Let's go ahead and get back into it. Atlanta Braves, rotation number 902. A big money line today. Atlanta at home, -198. A guy named Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound. He's a right-hander going up against Bailey Falter, the left-hander for Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh has been doing a little bit better than we expected them to do. Paul Skeens has really given them a boost in their bullpen lineup as a starter. But you talk about this, 39-43 versus 46-35. The Atlanta Braves are looking poised to go back to the playoffs in a strong position and heading into the All-Star break about 8 games over 500. 26-13 at home. That's a pretty strong record. But the Pirates, only 3 games under 500 when you talk about going on the road. How do you see this one playing out in that early game, 11:35 a.m. Eastern time? Go ahead. Starting in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams here, both of these pitchers have had moments or innings where they've struggled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people might look to the over in this game. I mean, this is tough. I just think with Atlanta's batting that they're going to pull this out. But this, man, as far as the over-under goes, it really could go either way because these guys could be very solid, or they could be Jekyll and Hyde. They could screw up. So, but overall, I mean, I would take the Braves in this game because they are the more solid.
Now, you talked about that over. Let's get into the total here. We're talking about 9 runs, okay? Do you think maybe buy that back a run, you can still get some value there? If you go over minus 115, the under is minus 105. So you could probably still get some value in that minus 125, minus 135 range if you adjust that total. I would say with 2 pitchers with a combined ERA of over 7, you're looking at a possibility of these guys getting knocked out of the park, especially coming from the Atlanta Braves side when you talk about their batting. So maybe an over here. I'm going to stick with the total. It's an early game. I'm going to buy it back to 8. Take it over, all right? I think this game is going to go over in the late innings. Let's move down to another matchup. Again, this is a 1:35 p.m. game. Miami Marlins. Man, you talk about a dog that's scrappy. They're winning games that they shouldn't win and losing games that they should win, and that's the problem with them. It shows up in their record at 30-53, 14-26 on the road, and they're going up against the juggernaut Philadelphia Phillies. Man, this is the team making me think Ryan Howard is back. You know what I mean? These guys are playing some serious baseball up in Philadelphia. Again, rotation number 904, Ranger Suarez on the mound, minus 255 is that money line play. 8.5 is the total in this one. Only 23% of the money on Miami. Yoni Chirinos is on the mound for them, a right-hander. 14-26 on the road, an abysmal record for the Miami Marlins. But the Philadelphia Phillies, 32-14, very, very strong. But you talk about it from the perspective of maybe looking at this total again. If the Philadelphia Phillies can keep the Marlins under 5 runs, this is going to have to possibly again go over. The Marlins can prove that they can score, just don't have any defense and don't have any pitching. Do you think the 255, though, the minus side with Philadelphia at home, is a good anchor bet for, say, maybe one of those parlay schemes? Go ahead, Daniel.
Well, so far in this series, Miami's won 2 of the 3 games. The only game that went over was the first game. In this game, you have, 2 aces on the mound. Suarez, he's got a 183 ERA right now, and Trinos is doing about as good as any Miami pitcher with the 270. So, I look for this to be another under game. So instead of trying to risk that over the money line, which side you want to go with, probably doing under 8 would be a better idea. Because like you said, Miami, if it's close and it's low scoring, Miami has a shot. They've won 2 of these 3 games already.
I love it. Telling you the dog is barking. If you like them and you're not scared, maybe take these guys in the run line. Let's go back to the Miami Marlins. Plus 1.5, get you minus 105. And you're talking about this team coming in from a totals perspective here. You like that over or you like that under? Daniel Cameron says the under. These are 2 aces on the mound. So we're going to go with Danny's pick here. I like the Marlins in the run line. They can possibly keep it close. You got to make sure that door that you're getting in there isn't sounds like you were floating to the bottom of the ocean there. But Philadelphia Phillies, again, they're a good baseball team. Even if they can pull out the win, you maybe can get some value buying the Miami Marlins up to maybe plus 2.5. That should get you somewhere around maybe minus 135, minus 150. Today the matchups are tough because we're getting to the All-Star break. Baseball is trying to get to their position where their stars are maybe staying out a little bit more, guys that they know are going to the All-Star game. So how do you think that's going to play up into some more of these matchups coming into that? Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm usually, when it comes to sports betting, I'm usually a little more cautious when we get to the games, like the week before the All-Star game.
Right.
They seem to be weird. Certain players are going to the All-Stars. Some players just kind of, they already know they're All-Stars, and they just don't play like All-Stars right before then. They just kind of are a little lazy. Some of them play harder. It's kind of a weird week. I like the week after a lot more than I do the week before. So I just caution people to be a little bit more careful.
That's right. That's what we were talking about here. Moving into another game yesterday, we talked about these guys going over. They did. The New York Mets back at 540-40 yesterday. The Houston Astros in this interleague play. You know I like interleague play because there's the value of teams normally not playing each other. The Astros have improved. Again, shout out to Scotty Beam Him Up Webb. He's got his new show over on East Coast Sports Investors Network with Jeff Dawson and the crew. You guys check him out daily. He's on the Twitter at Webby20MLB. But he talked about this when he was coming on earlier in the season, that once the Houston Astros got their bullpen back from injury, that they would have a marked improvement. These guys are also at 500 yesterday, beating the New York Mets. They've got Sean Dubin on the mound again, rotation number 925. The Houston Astros plus 118 in that dog position. The Mets, Luis Severino on the mound. He's their ace, rotation number 926. Decent value here at minus 138 for the Mets. So when you talk about the Mets yesterday losing that nail biter and trying to maybe get back above 500 to end out this series in interleague play, again, it's that weird time before the All-Star break. Do you think the Mets can give you some value today at home, minus 138, or do you want to go with that dog in Sean Dubin with the Houston Astros? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a weird game for me. Yeah, this is a really weird game. But, you know, both of these games so far, they're 1-1 in the series right now. Both of them have gone way, let's see, the first game was 9, so that was, you know, about the total. But the second one went way over. And in this game in particular, you know, Luis Severino has the better ERA of the two pitchers. But I just never trust that guy. I don't know what it is about him. It seems like if he gets into the 5th or 6th inning, he just starts falling apart. But, yeah, I mean, you know, looking at everything, you would say that the Mets would have the advantage in this game.
Right.
But having said that, man, I don't know. There's something weird about this game.
Something weird about this game.
Like I said, right before the All-Star break, I almost feel like the Astros are the ones that should have been maybe favored. You know, they have the better bats. So, I don't know. It's interesting.
Interesting matchup here. He's telling you possibly stay off of this game. I like the Mets to try to crawl back over 500 today to get to 41-40. The Astros, when they get back into their division after the All-Star break, we know they're going to make a push and go to the playoffs unless things melt down. Let's go over to another team that has been very, very surprising. They lose the games again that I bet on them, but their record doesn't reflect it. Talking about those New York Yankees. Again, the Yankees are back in play today, going up against, oh my goodness, I just had it here, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, again, middling right around 38-44. They're the favorite today, and the Yankees are in the dog position. This is when I try to bet them. Garrett Cole's on the mound. He's got a terrible ERA. He's 0-1, a 9 ERA, 1.88 whip. That's a recipe for a possible ticket blow-up. They're going up against Kevin Gausman. ERA not much better, 6-6 overall, 4.26 at the ERA, 1.27 whip. I'm talking about a total here of going possibly under. And the reason why I say that is the New York Yankees have had a lot of trouble getting points when they're in the dog position. It's just something about them not being able to score runs. They're at 52-32. And when you go into this game here, Daniel, you talk about a weird game. This is the one that I had circled as a weird game because I'm quite confused at trying to figure out exactly where the cash is to be made. But go ahead.
Yeah, actually, this might be my favorite game actually on the day. And what I like about this game is, you know, actually I'm showing its turn to the Yankees being a slight favorite now, minus 115 and minus 105 for Toronto. So it's about even either way you take it. But you know, I like the Yankees in this game. I think over could be a really good bet as well. Anytime that Gausman's involved, if I'm not going to take the over, well, I'm not going to bet it because I'm not taking the under with Gausman.
Right. I'm telling you, that ERA is absolutely terrible.
I love it. Go ahead. I'm just Gausman's The thing about Gossman, man, is he lets you crank those home runs, man. I mean, he really let those home runs fly on him. So, this is a good one. I like the Yankees in this game, and if you're going to take it over, I would take the over 8.
There you go. He likes him in the over. I'm telling you, go ahead and go with that dog, the New York Yankees. If you want to buy him from the plus 1.5 down to a -1, -1.5, you can flip that run line to the plus money line position. Let's move into another game here that I've been taking a look at. This is a team, again, when you talk about betting, going back into this all-star break, you've got to question yourself and say, is there an opportunity for this team to continue to improve? Because what I saw yesterday out of the San Francisco Giants, man, they played well. They really did. They really did. Until right around the end of the game. Score was tied up in the 6th inning, 7-7, and then the Dodgers opened up that can of you-know-what, and we're talking about this was a bad beatdown. The Los Angeles Dodgers have played a very, very strong brand of baseball. Again, today on the mound, you got James Paxton, rotation number 909. The Dodgers, 82% of the money is on them, but they're only priced at -132. The San Francisco Giants, they don't even have anybody on the list today. There's some probable starts, but they're getting you a dog position at +112. Do the Dodgers run away with this series? I mean, what I saw yesterday in the late innings, once San Francisco gets to their bullpen, it's lights out. These guys are going to be getting knocked out of the park, and then the fielding just completely melts down. I'm going with the Dodgers here because it's a good price, a good anchor at only -132. Win by 1, lose by none. Get the money. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a pretty big supporter of the Giants over the years. Not saying I'm a fan, but I've been a good supporter of them. Maybe a fan of them a little bit. But the thing about, I think the Giants this year are better than. I mean, I think they're worse than what they've been doing, and I think after the All-Star break, they really fall apart. So. I really don't have a lot of confidence in the Giants going forward. So, my iPad just died, so it just went off its charge. But I think that they lose to the Dodgers. I might have to put you on speaker a little so I can look up some stuff on my phone. But.
Yeah, that's fine, man. All you got to do is just take the Dodgers rotation number 909 and go to sleep. Yeah. So what I'll do is take a short commercial break, and I'll let you get lined up, get your charger cord back on again. Daniel Cameron, it's been a wild morning here, VSX Digital Sports Network, KSHP 107.1 FM, dropping that grease for you, Major League Baseball. When we come back from this short commercial break, we'll break up the monotony a little bit, talk about some of that NBA, Daniel, let you get your iPad charged back up, drop off some more grease. So we do like the Dodgers money line. That should be able to get you paid. He likes the Miami Marlins if they can keep it close in that run line. He likes the over. I do as well. Buy that one back. And then talking about that Pittsburgh and Atlanta Braves game coming up in less than 5 minutes. It's a tough one, but I like the Braves here to go money line. So, Daniel, quick shout out. Tell folks where they can find your picks and whatnot, and I'll take this break and let you get charged up. Go ahead.
Daniel Sports Ledger on Instagram. Just look me up on there, D Sports Ledger. The letter D Sports Ledger.
There you go, D Sports Ledger, JB the Ticket. Also on Instagram, jbtheticket.com is where you want to go. Get the cash, get the picks, get the great deals, and most importantly, it's where you get the money.
Your list also the big ball. Just pay the ticket.
In times of war and peace, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. We salute those who have given their lives for our country. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten.
This salute is courtesy of Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, serving our area with quality and pride. For a fantastic meal, stop by 1331 West Warm Springs Road in Henderson or call them at 725-214-4140. That's 725-214-4140. Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, on the air reminding everyone that we live in the land of the free thanks to our brave.
STN Sports is the only sports betting app you need this season. STN Sports has it all. In-play betting, mobile parlay cards, the Play Plus card to fund and withdraw from anywhere in Nevada, and the latest lines on every game. STN Sports even lets you earn rewards on every bet. Safe and easy betting from your phone or tablet. Go to stationcasinosports.com or sign up at any Station Casino, Fiesta Wildfire, or the El Cortez. Details at the sportsbooks.
Skip your cable bill this month. Enjoy the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free. 15% off your first month. No credit check. No deposit. No installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Fire, more heat. You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JB the Kicker. Giving you that green. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Always spitting that explosive fire.
JB the Ticket back at you live here. Daniel Cameron, D Sports Ledger, making sure we're locking you in. Talking a little bit of this NBA, man. We had the draft this week. I want to get your thoughts on that. Again, the NBA draft. A lot of players, I don't really know who they are, but we talk about the elephant in the room real quick. LeBron James Jr. getting picked up by the Lakers at number 55. So you talk about talent, players, ability. You know, again, give him a shout out. I mean, he did overcome that heart condition. So just for perseverance alone, because we've seen some guys in the most recent drafts, you know, have conditions. Some guys, I remember there was a young man, I forgot his name, but he had Marfan syndrome, which kind of like disconnects like tendons and stuff, and they thought he was going to end up blind. And the NBA gave him like a mercy draft and gave him $1 million a couple of years back. So it kind of makes sense. You know, the NBA needs to make history. It was an easy opportunity to make history. And again, you know, in relationship to sports now, with so many players, with access to so much information, that veil between fan and athlete has been broken. Fan and celebrity has been broken with the advent of social media and the ability to contact these folks. So you talk about LeBron James Jr. coming in the second round, number 55. He'll be here in Vegas for the Summer League. But just on a basketball note, do you think he's got a chance to make the team? I mean, obviously, I think he does. But from a basketball perspective, I mean, we didn't get a chance to see a lot of him at USC because of that heart condition. But when he got on the floor, he did have a few moments. You know, the media was trying to hype it up. But his performance at the Combine, on paper, he's an NBA player. Highest vertical, great jump shooting ability, and they said he's a dog on defense. Go ahead.
He's going to have to be a dog on defense if he wants any playing time. But, you know, it's a cute story. You know, the father gets to play with his son in the NBA and all that stuff. You know, of course, the Lakers were going to draft him. Nobody else was going to, just because then they'd have to trade him for the Lakers. No, I mean, just because LeBron. I mean, everybody just had to kowtow in that situation to LeBron and just be like, okay, your son's going to the Lakers, you know. Either he goes undrafted or the Lakers draft him, one of the two. But we all knew he was going to the Lakers 100%. It sounds like LeBron, I think I saw something today that he's going to do a new contract now that his son's there and everything, so that was another reason to get him. But, yeah, I mean, as far as him playing on the court in the NBA, you know, he's going to play some. He's got a lot of development to get good enough to even play with these guys. I mean, I watched a lot of them at USC, and I know that he had some shining moments, but I mean, let's be real, he also only averaged 6 points and like 1 rebound or something stupid. So let's not blow this out of proportion. I mean, the guy, he's like a 7th or 8th man that you put in when you're up 20, and he goes out there and has some fun until he can develop. I mean, that's just really where it is. Maybe he can, but I really, really highly doubt it.
Well, there you go, talking about Bronny James getting picked up. But congrats to the young man. Congrats to his dad.
Yeah, congrats to him.
There you go. Guys always want to go to the NBA, and that the NBA, as far as basketball is concerned now, it's a club sport anyway. You don't really see basketball, being permeated through the inner city. The courts are empty during the summer times. I mean, I live out here in Vegas. I mean, it's already 175 degrees, but when you look at the players that were getting picked up and the relationship between the universities and NBA players, when I look at this draft, this used to be a situation in the NBA where you knew that 2 specific conferences were going to dominate, maybe 3, the NBA draft, talking about the Big East, the ACC, and the old Pac-12 that no longer exists. Those were the 3 conferences that you could legitimately pick teams out of. And then, of course, in the SEC, the basketball stalwarts like Kentucky and the Big 12, you had Kansas and those. I don't see any of those teams on this draft. I'm seeing foreign teams, mid-majors, schools, G League, all kinds of stuff, man. I'm looking for Kansas. I'm looking for, we see Harrison Ingram, number 48 from North Carolina, and that's a second-round pick. Took me a while to dig that one out. You do see Kevin McCullough Jr., again, 56 from Kansas. He got traded over to the Knicks. When you talk about the NIL era, I think this is going to be a constant expansion. You're not going to really know who a lot of these guys are unless you're just a complete basketball junkie. With the transfer portal being the way that it is now in college basketball, guys skipping around, being able to put cash in their pockets for their college play. I'm looking at this NBA draft here, and there's a lot of colleges that I don't really see represented. When you look at the first 2 players taken in the draft, Zachary Rissacher from JL Bourg en Bresse, that's a French school. You got Alex Sarr. He's from Perth. That's somewhere out in Australia. Then you finally get to the SEC stalwart, Kentucky, with Reed Shepherd. Stephon Castle, Connecticut. All right. Then we go back to that thing. G League Ignite, Cholet Basketball, Tijane Saloon. He's another French guy. What's going on in relationship between the American player, college basketball, and the NBA? And from a betting perspective, you talk about prop bets, draft level bets. I mean, all those are sucker bets in my opinion. You can't tell me that the Spurs were going to draft Stephon Castle number 4. What makes him a number 4 pick? Was it the ability to go and win another national championship with Dan Hurley, or was it just because he's the best player available? But in relationship to the American player and all these kids wanting to go get college scholarships, I'm here in Vegas working with a couple of kids now, talking to their parents. I'm telling them, look, if your kid is good enough to get on the radar of one of these teams or one of these scouting boards, it kind of doesn't matter where they go to college, because you're seeing first-round players coming out of Dayton, Colorado, Indiana, and then outside of these other schools that would have been places for kids from NC State, places for kids from, say, maybe UCLA. These are all getting filled with foreign players and players from these junior leagues here in the Americas, like the NBA G League. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are going to see a lot more. The NBA, you got to give the NBA credit. They had this plan to expand internationally, and it's clearly been successful. What it's going to take to kind of bring that back in what you're saying for, like, are they getting drafted from American colleges or, overseas or whatever? Once we have 1 or maybe 2 just really shitty drafts.
Oh, no, you did it again.
Sorry. Once we have 1 or 2 of these really bad drafts from these foreign players, then we're going to, it's obviously they're going to start looking back towards the NCAA, more. And I mean, that is going to happen. I think that when it comes to the NBA right now, I think that there's going to be more disparity in you're going to have phenomenal drafts and you're going to have really bad drafts. And you're probably not going to have those standard, just always really good drafts. I think it's going to be either phenomenal or terrible.
Right.
Depending on the year.
Now, let me talk to you a little bit about possibility of the NBA expanding maybe to a few more teams. There's a couple of major cities here in the United States that, I feel possibly, could get their own team. Nashville, Seattle used to have the Supersonics. I say move the Kings up there. Sacramento ain't never winning nothing. I mean, that's a money pit. That's a money pit. We've seen that team change more hands. I remember when the Maloof brothers had it and they owned the Palms back in the day. That was the only time the team was cool. They had Jay Will, they had Chris Webber, they had Vlade Divac. That was the only time the team was cool. Team's been trash since then. Don't forget Mike Bibby, 10 dimes. That was when that team was good. Move that team up to 5, couple 100 miles back to Seattle. When you go into the NBA also, talking about bringing in these French guys, why are they not looking at putting a team in Montreal, Canada? Are you kidding me? You got Toronto. Move up to Montreal. We all know that Vancouver was a waste, and those Grizzlies moved down to Memphis. So I also think, too, to do away with that Eastern-Western Conference stuff. They're already testing out relegation, which is the Euro way of doing soccer and their basketball. So when you just say, look, let's do 40 teams, the top X amount of teams at the All-Star break move into what we call the Champions Division, and then we have the Playoff Division or the Contenders Division, whatever it may be. And the winner of the Contenders Division versus the winner of the Championship Division, they play for the NBA Championship. I think that would make a little bit more sense because Eastern and Western Conference trying to divide up the talent. You talk about the free agency pool. I mean, LeBron James technically right now is a free agent. You got Paul George out there. You got a lot of stars who are getting a little bit long in the tooth coming into free agency. And I think it would just make a better concept of sense for the players, for the business of basketball, and for the relationship between basketball and the fans. Because if you are on the West Coast and you primarily see Western Conference games, you don't expect to see the Boston Celtics come out and actually win the championship, right? But if you're on the East Coast, you would see that. Relegation would eliminate all of that. It would expand them for the opportunity to be an international thing. Why not add into the NBA playoffs instead of wasting it on one of these crap teams? Take one of the Euro champions. Take a Euro champion team, right? Put them in the 8th position. You're drafting their players anyway, so it's like, okay, let's give these guys some run. I think it's a way to kind of build a little bit more fan interest because they're trying to do things in the NBA with your future forward, but they still have some of these old concepts. Again, in my opinion, the conference and division structure, that's kind of holding it back from the proper type of expansion. And you talk about Las Vegas looking for an NBA team. So you got Nashville, Vegas, and Seattle. Just expand, man. Expand and do relegation. I think it would be better for basketball, and I also think it would be better for the players, especially coming in with the draft. This is the league with the least amount of draft rounds. Every other league has a minimum of 3 rounds. The NHL, the NFL, Major League Baseball, only the NBA. 2 rounds, 60 new players a season. And I think it's doing a disservice to a lot of guys who could be able to get into the NBA, not having necessarily a place to play. And if they do expand to keep it competitive, that would be an opportunity to get some more of these American players back on NBA rosters. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, they do have a G League.
Oh my God!
I think that I do like that idea. No, I do like your idea with expanding and make. I think that's a little. I think that's a little bit of a fast forward, but what would be interesting for me, though, at least, is if they had a league over in Europe and they played the G League, and then maybe out of the winner of those two could maybe move up in regulation or something like that.
No. There's enough crappy teams in the NBA right now.
Yeah,
that you could easily relegate.
Guys that really get to play. It's the hardest. I mean, it's the most. It's really the hardest game probably to break into in any sport.
Right. I mean, I agree. Like I just said, you got 2 rounds, 60 spots, but you've got guys that are essentially, you've got 2 rounds for well over an availability, just to be safe, I would say 10,000 players, because you're including the whole world now. And international players used to be an anomaly in the NBA. Okay. Going back to guys like Sabonis, Dragan Petrovic, Detlef Schrempf, Tony Kukoc. But these guys weren't necessarily getting drafted. They were getting brought over on free agency contracts. So, again, I remember when they were talking about, I mean, this was a big thing, and now I see why, he's kind of bitter about it. But remember Scottie Pippen, they were talking about trading him away from the Bulls to bring in Tony Kukoc. Now, again, they stacked that team with the superest all-star team ever in 9-6, 9-5, 9-6. Getting those 70 wins, and Tony Kukoc was a part of that. So when you look at the quality of the Euro player now, also surpassing the quality of the homegrown NBA player, guys like Luka Doncic, guys like, Antetokounmpo kid up in the Bucks. A lot of guys are now coming in saying that if this is a global league, shouldn't it reflect the global structure of business? And I got to admit, I don't agree with that G League playing Euro teams. Look, we just had the G League Ignite here in Las Vegas, and these guys got smoked. It was like 4-28 records, something absolutely awful. The team actually disbanded. A couple of their kids got picked up in the draft, but see, that's what I'm talking about. Those are kids that now, with the colleges being able to pay them, there is no more restriction, no more talking about we're hungry, we can't get nothing to eat. You better post a few pictures on Instagram, try to get some followers, have them send you some donations. So now that they can get money, and the money pit in America can be expanded from the perspective of the college game into the pro game, don't you think it would make more sense to expand more pro teams and then give a shift in the way the game is played? Look, they already got that crappy in-season tournament. So they're already dabbling. Why not just go full throttle, pick up 5 extra cities, develop it out? These teams and these new generation of basketball players are more in line with wanting to play for the entertainment factor, okay? And for the money factor. You got to think, teams that are complete scrubs, have over, $500 million up to $1 billion in salary cap. Because, the NBA can pretty much pay whatever, right? So they will pay the luxury tax for these players. Why not expand? Build a team here in Las Vegas. Put a team back up in not Sacramento. Take the team from Sacramento and put that team up in Seattle. Okay?
Right.
Add a team up in Montreal. Add a team out in Nashville. I think it would be a great opportunity not only for more American basketball players to stay home and play professional basketball, but it would also be a greater incentive for these young college players or young high school players who are possibly thinking about going overseas to actually look at some of the real opportunities here. Get a college education and get a check now. No more exploitation. The NBA has got 40 teams now. So maybe expand to a 3rd round of the draft. Get rid of that G League. Get rid of all that stuff. That stuff ain't working. But by creating teams that know that, well, we draft these players, we want to get to the championship division next year to be able to go to the playoffs, or we want to be in that top level of the secondary division to be able to make the NBA playoffs. Something. You got to give us something of substance, because the way it is right now, again, I looked at the draft. I have no idea who any of these kids are. And I'm not going to be talking about betting on the NBA until they actually get that season started. Daniel Cameron, when we get back from this short commercial break, we're going to give our best plays of the day. So, again, you guys keep it locked here with me, JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. Been quite the eventful Sunday morning. Some picks, some bread and circus, gave you some early baseball plays. When we get back from this short commercial break, if you want my WNBA plays, you got to go over to jbtheticket.com, sign up on the website, shoot me an email, and I'll be able to hook you up to get you where you want to be. So keep it locked. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket, giving you that grease. Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
In times of war and peace, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. We salute those who have given their lives for our country. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten.
This salute is courtesy of Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, serving our area with quality and pride. For a fantastic meal, stop by 1331 West Warm Springs Road in Henderson or call them at 725-214-4140. That's 725-214-4140. Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, on the air reminding everyone that we live in the land of the free thanks to our brave.
Yo. You're in the mix. World's finest, man.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JB the Tech. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that green.
All right, back at you live. Getting ready to get out of here for the Sportsbook Betting Sunday this June 30th. Also want to give a shout out to my little nieces over in Sweden. Last week was their birthday. Uncle JB ain't forgot about you, giving you some of that grease. Again, happy birthday, young ladies over there. Uncle JB has not forgotten about you and can't wait to see you in the next couple of sports seasons. I might pop up over there with that law degree. You better watch out. But like I was telling you before, my main man Daniel Cameron back on the line from D Sports Ledger. Let's jump into it, man. What are your best plays of the day? JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express appreciates all the people out here in Las Vegas listening this morning, waking up with us. Daniel, what's some of the best plays, man? You see that grease, people need that cash. Go ahead.
Yeah, give me an old, this is kind of random. Give me an old blue blood two-team parlay. Give me the Dodgers and the Yankees today on a two-teamer.
There you go. He likes that two-team scheme. I like that two-team scheme as well. When I go back to my best play of the day for you, I also like the Dodgers and the Yankees in the dog position. I say switch them around on the run line and buy them to the minus side, make them the favorite, and that should be able to put cash in your pocket. So that's our concurrence today. Again, thank you so much, Daniel Cameron, for stopping by the big board. Thank you guys so much for listening out here in Vegas. We'll be back next week. Be sure to check in on my website, jbtheticket.com. Got new stuff on there every day. Go to the shop page where it says Shop Our Shopping Club. We've got some great offers there, too. As you know, we're on KSHP, known for the shopping show. Shout out to Mark Hayes. He's going to be back next week. But most importantly, we're going to be getting out of here, getting you over to the sports book with those major plays. So again, guys, thank you so much for listening. Daniel Cameron, any final shout outs before we drop the grease and get out of here? Go ahead.
Yeah, just hit me up on D Sports Ledger on Instagram.
That's it. D Sports Ledger on Instagram. JB the Ticket on Instagram. Want to give a shout out to my main man, Freddie, in the building. That's right, Ready Freddie, the smooth Freddie. He's going to be coming on this fall with our blues show, Barbecue and Blues. What did we call it yesterday, Freddie? Food for the soul. There it is, food for the soul. Because we got that soul music coming for you, hooking you up with those picks during football season and some great food from the Pot Box, which is Freddie's business, where he's got those great barbecue, baked potatoes, you name it, rib sauce. We got it. Also going to be supporting some more of our small businesses here with sponsorships. You guys need to get on board with us. We are the title station for the LA Rams this year. So if you're coming out from LA to Vegas and you still want to bet on your home team, and we're talking about them this season along with our Raiders picks each and every Sunday, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to KSHP 107.1 FM, AM 1400, and you got to get your sponsorships through VSX Digital Sports Network at VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com. So Daniel, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank everybody so much for listening. It's time to go get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Give you that grease.